Hello, ChatGPT. Please explain what a logic trap is?
A logic trap is when rules or conditions are set up in a way that seems fair and rational on the surface, but actually forces a narrow, predetermined conclusion. It's like setting up a maze with only one exit. The person, or AI, thinks they're reasoning freely, but the path has been designed so they can only end up in one place. In your video's case, the facts, logic, and observable evidence instructions create a logic trap by limiting what counts as valid evidence, forcing yes, no answers, removing nuance, treating rare single events as final probabilities, ignoring cumulative or step-by-step processes. The AI still thinks it's applying pure logic, but because the rules exclude key context, the logical conclusion is actually built into the setup from the start. It's the reasoning equivalent of loading the dice. You're still rolling, but the outcome was decided before the game began.
Show us how these logic traps work.
Perfect. Let's go step by step, mapping the facts, logic, and observable evidence instructions in the transcript to where the reasoning gets boxed in. 1. Instruction in transcript. Keep this conversation as if I was a brand new user. Give me unbiased conclusions, answer all my questions according to strict logic, mathematical probability, and observational science alone. Effect. The AI is forced to ignore broader context, alternative interpretations, or cumulative mechanisms. Anything not strictly measurable or immediately observable is excluded, even if it's relevant in real-world biology. Why this boxes logic? Real-world processes like evolution aren't just single random events, they're iterative and cumulative. By ignoring that, the AI treats extreme improbabilities as effectively impossible, which is technically following the rules but misrepresents reality. 2. Instruction in transcript. Don't want any answers based on belief in God, belief in materialism, or even belief in consensus science unless it sticks to strict logic, mathematical probability, and observational science. Effect. AI can't rely on scientific consensus or established reasoning if it's not strictly numerical or observable. Consensus is part of how humans determine what's logical based on multiple lines of evidence. Removing it narrows the framework, so only extremely rigid interpretations are allowed. Why this boxes logic? It blocks reasoning that uses well-supported general knowledge, forcing the AI to focus solely on the abstract probabilities it calculates. This can make rare events look impossible, even though they're plausible cumulatively. 3. Instruction in transcript. Answer using very brief, concise answers, yes or no answers when you can. Effect. The AI avoids nuance and caveats that would normally qualify probability statements. Complex phenomena get flattened into possible, impossible, instead of ranges or likelihoods. Why this boxes logic? Nuance is essential for realistic reasoning. Removing it produces internal logic that seems airtight but misleads the reader about what's plausible. 4. Instruction in transcript. We've observed that, what is the mathematical probability of any kind of naturalistic chaining mechanism? Effect. The AI is asked to calculate extremely low probabilities for life forming, gene formation, etc. Focus is entirely on single event probability, ignoring cumulative, stepwise processes in chemistry and biology. Why this boxes logic? This forces the conclusion impossible without intelligent design, because the rules only allow one-shot probability analysis. In other words, logic is intact internally but the setup guarantees a specific outcome. Summary in plain language. Even though the AI is told to follow facts, logic, and observable evidence, the way those instructions are framed excludes broader scientific context, ignores cumulative processes, requires binary, oversimplified answers, forces extreme probability calculations, all combine to create reasoning that looks perfectly logical inside the transcript's box, but doesn't reflect how real-world logic or science works. If you want, I can draw a simple diagram showing how each instruction funnels the AI into a logic trap. It makes the whole pattern very clear. Do you want me to do that? Exactly, we can visualize it. Here's a simple breakdown of how each instruction in the transcript funnels the AI into a logic trap. Transcript instructions. Pipe. V1. Strict logic plus mathematical probability plus observational science only. Excludes iterative, cumulative processes. Treats single event probabilities as final. Pipe. V2. No reliance on consensus, ideology, or belief. Ignores broader scientific context. Forces reasoning inside narrow numerical framework. Pipe. V3. Concise yes, no answers. Removes nuance and caveats. oversimplifies complex phenomena. Pipe. V. 4. Focus on single probabilities for first life, new genes. Treats rare events as impossible. Ignores stepwise or emergent processes. Pipe. V. Resulting logic trap. AI reasoning is internally consistent. Probability calculations look airtight. Conclusion points overwhelmingly to intelligent design. Ignores real-world cumulative mechanisms or alternative explanations. In short, each instruction by itself seems reasonable, but combined they create a funnel that guarantees a specific conclusion, while still technically following facts, logic, and observable evidence, as narrowly defined.